In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a ruffled scarf where you don't have to know how to knit or crochet. And what I'm using is this 5-inch long weaving needle that we have at maggiescrochet.com, and it's made by Susan Bates. And I'm going to start with measuring off a 2-yard piece of coordinating yarn. So for this color, I'm going to use an off-white, and I'm going to take the outside wrapper off. There's several different brands of ruffled yarn, and this will work with all of them. Not all of them, but this type. This is Starbella, and we have over 25 colors, I think it is, on the website. Okay, so in the beginning, you're going to be working on the side. There's a band here, and that's the outside edge, so you're not going to be working into that edge. You're going to be working onto the finer net side of it. So you want to count off your first 4, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and fold those 4 over the next 4. So I've counted off 4. So I'm going to fold it right here and overlap. I'm going to match the next 4. Okay, so at the fold here, I'm going to thread my yarn, and I just fold over the eye of the hook, and then I push the eye over the fold. That's how I thread my needle. And since it's a 2-yard piece of yarn, you want to just fold it almost in half on the thing, but you're only going to use a single strand. So right here where the first 2 loops overlap, I'm gonna tie my yarn on here. So I'm just literally gonna take the opposite end of my yarn here, and I'm gonna stick it through here, and I'm just gonna tie a little knot. This won't show because it's gonna be all ruffled in there. So I'm just gonna tie a knot several times to secure it like this. Okay, so all right, so I'm at the fold. I've got the 4 loops there, and then I'm going to match it with the next 4 loops on the strand. So all I'm going to do is go through each one of those loops on both sides. So I'm going to match them loop for loop. Okay, this loop gets matched with this loop, and then so I came out there, and I'm just going to go here, or you could just, I think I'm just going to go in the back and just bring my hook up like this. And then the next one, I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to match it up with that, and I'm going to go through that. So I'm done here as far as starting it. So I've got 4 loops on my hook, and I'm just going to go, now I'm going to go every other. So I've got 4, I'm going to skip this one, I've got 5, I'm going to skip this one, and then I have 6, I'm going to skip this one, and then I have 7, and then I'm going to skip that one. I keep spreading this open, and then I have 8, and I'm going to skip that one, and then I have 9, and I'm going to skip that one, and then I have 10. Okay, and all I'm going to do is hold these like this and bring the yarn through like this. I'm going to bring the yarn through, and it's going to pull to that knot. I'm not going to pull it that tight, but right there, and then I am just gonna secure that there with a stitch like that. You could bring that through so that creates a loop there, and that'll lock it right there. Okay, so I've got my first stitch done and it doesn't pull out. You can test it. You could always go through it a second time, and then I would wrap this around here and pull that out like that. Okay, so that's the first one. Now I am going to skip the next one, go into the next one, so I have, go from the back. So I have one, then I'm going to skip that one. I have two, and I have three, and then I'm going to skip this one, and I have four, and then I'm going to skip that one, and then I have five, and then I'm going to skip this one, and then I have six. I'm going to skip that one, and then I have seven. I'm going to skip that one, and then I'm going to have eight. And I'm going to skip that one, and then I have nine. And then I'm going to skip this one, and then I have 10. Okay, and I'm going to hold all those like this, and I'm going to pull the needle through and the yarn through up to, and then the first one will come up next to it, and then I'm going to secure it. I'm going to go under a few of those loops, and I'm going to wrap this around so it's like a knot. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it one more time like this, and there's two. So I've got two ruffles. Okay, so then I am going to skip the next one. Okay, I'm going to come from the back, go like this. So I've got one, skipping, two, skip, three, skip, four, skip that one, five, skip that one, six, skip that one, seven, skip that one, 8, skip that one, 9, skip that one, and 10. Okay, 10, and then I am going to hold all these like this, bring the needle through, bring the yarn through, and the last stitch will come up close to it. See, there's my last stitch right there. It's going to come up close, and you could keep these like really tight together, then it's going to be really full, or you could just let it be kind of loose on there, which is what I've been doing. So it's about a 1/2 inch on there that it gains there. So I'm going to come back here and go through the last few loops, and then I'm going to bring this yarn over and go like that. And I'm going to do it one more time. And you want to use a real sturdy yarn for this. This is pretty sturdy. This is just a real heavy acrylic yarn that I'm using. And you won't see any of those knots in the actual scarf because these ruffles will just float all over the place. So just keep doing that for the whole skein of yarn. Then you have a beautiful, I'll do it one more time. I'm going to come in through this loop. I skipped that loop, and I'm gonna skip the next one. I'm coming from the back to the front, and then I'm skipping this one, and then I'm going to come from the back to the front here, and then I'm skipping that one, and then I'm coming from the back to the front. So I don't know how many I have now. I've got 4, and there's 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. Okay, and I'm going to pull through all those like that. I'm going to leave it out about a 1/2 inch there. Then I'm going to come in from the back here. I'm going to wrap this around so it makes like a knot there. And alright, there's that. I'm going to lock it one more time. Okay, so at the very end, if you wanted to finish off, all you would have to do is just cut this, and your last knot you might want to go over it a few more times. But this is oh, I love these colors. This is how it will look. It will look just like the ruffled scarf. So now knitters can make these, crocheters can make them, and now you can sew it with the big weaving needle. Actually, you don't. This is handy though to pick up the loops. I really like working with this. And this weaving needle is really good for a lot of things. If you're doing like a double stranded or triple or quadruple stranded anything, this is really good to use. And if you're doing an Afghan for weaving, so it's got a lot of good uses, and it's very inexpensive. So you could experiment with this. I did 10. You might want to do less, or you could do more so it's fuller. But basically the other thing about this that's good is you only do it in one pass. So I've got another video where I show you how to do this with a crochet hook, and I might play around with this and figure out how to do it really quick with knitting, but I haven't done that yet. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video on how to sew a ruffled scarf. Thank you very much for watching. Join my YouTube channel, which is Maggie Weldon. My Facebook page is Maggie's Crochet, and our website is maggiescrochet.com. And we have this weaving needle, all kinds of patterns, hooks, and supplies.